I would now recognize a Republican from one of the New England states, but we don't have any. So I'll recognize the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Otter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this very important hearing. Ms. Tyler, you represent the Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty.
That's correct.
Do you believe fundamentalist Islam values religious liberty?
I'm not here. I'm not here to
okay,
talk about theological position.
How about the Muslim Brotherhood? Do they value religious liberty?
I'm not. I'm not.
I mean, these are the groups you're here to support. The Democrats brought you here as a witness.
For religious freedom.
How about the Diabanis? Is a Southern Islamist sect affiliated with the Taliban? Do they value religious liberty? They're in Texas right now too.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. How about the Barlavelis, South Asian Sunni Islam sect? They're in Texas too.
I'm not familiar with that group.
How about the Salafis? Let me know if you know any of this. The Khomeinists, the Turkish Islamists, all represented in various mosques and Islamic centers in Texas. Do any of them value religious liberty?
I'm not familiar with them.
Okay. Do you believe religious liberty is valued and upheld in the Islamic Republic of Iran?
I think that that's a theocracy, and so therefore it is not the constitutional democracy that we have that is built on the foundation of religion.
Yeah, how about the Taliban in Afghanistan? Yeah.
I think those are examples of Islamic states that don't support religious freedom.
Okay. Why exactly would we want to import mass numbers of people committed to an ideology? And I'm not talking about Islam writ large, because many Muslims, I think most Muslims probably do would like to live in a modern secular or democratic republic. But we're talking about radical Islamists. So we're talking about these radical Islamists establishing beachheads in our country. Why do you defend that, Ms. Tyler?
Well, I think what I'm concerned about, of course, we have criminal laws and anti-terrorism laws that
okay, that's good.
Wait,
okay, yeah. Should we enforce our criminal laws, our anti-terrorism? Okay, so we should not tolerate sexual enslavement in the United States of America, right?
I think our criminal laws protect against that.
Good. How about honor killings for a young woman who dishonors her family in some way? That should be against the law in the United States of America.
As we discussed earlier, murder is illegal no matter the justification.
Stoning for adultery, right?
Correct.
Child marriage, pedophilia, right?
Those are against criminal law in the United States.
Female circumcision is illegal under federal law right now.
That's right.
So we have imams in many of these centers we're talking about right now who advocate for those very things in our law, in our country. Why are we should tolerate this in the name of religious freedom?
We tolerate freedom of religion in this country so we can believe whatever we want, and we can act on those beliefs without necessary government interference. And in this case, there is a compelling government interest against murder.
Against the laws I listed.
And so you're not allowed to act on those beliefs because it would be against criminal law.
Thank you. Ms. Mecklenburg, I believe that tolerating these beachheads of radical Islam in our country is literally civilizational suicide. And I think we've seen Islamist terrorist attacks in this country already. And we're seeing in many cases a lack of assimilation, not by generally people who immigrate on their own, work as a computer engineer or in agriculture, what have you, but rather when they join these very closed groups that are committed to imposing Sharia law. Tolerating that seems to be utter insanity, and especially if we see what's going on in Europe right now. If we look at what's going on in Germany and in London and in France. Tell me where I'm wrong.
So, as you said, the beachheads. That is what Erdogan says from Turkey, that the mosque is the beachhead. When you hear CARE speak about the mosque, they speak about that being their infrastructure, where all things are launched out of. They are having these closed societies. The goal is, and that's why you'll see with most mosque expansion projects happening in Texas, they are expanding and they are making these enclaves where all things emanate from that mosque. And if you see, and you look in Germany, as you were just talking about, Erdogan had sent hundreds of imams to head up the mosques that were from the Turkish government, that a lot of them were then found out to be spies. And we're seeing in this country, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Iran, they're all sending their proxies here. And then they're coming and they're having the closed societies and they are the beachheads, as you said.
Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.